Gary gave a bit of an update about his Tesla valuation model. FSD makes up 9% of his projected Tesla earnings in the year 2030. And speaking of FSD, ARK Invest will release their updated Tesla stock price target in a few months. It will be a 2028 Tesla stock price target. There are so many things that ARK Invest is excited about, says Tasha. The focus on demand and production in the short term is really just that. It's short-term focus, says Tasha. Gary pointed out yesterday that if Tesla does not cut prices yesterday night, which is when Tesla usually cuts prices, Tesla stock could rebound because with the $7,500 instant rebate, Model Y rear-wheel drive prices start at $36,500. Elon replied to Warren, people who think Elon was negative about Dojo do not speak Elon low probability of success. He said that about SpaceX and Tesla as Stardust. The important detail is they are already working on versions 1.5, 2, and 3. And Elon says, my estimate of the probability of success at the beginning of both Tesla and SpaceX was less than 10%. The reason people telling me we would probably fail didn't dissuade me was that I already agreed with them. Elon may not be helping himself with recruiting new talent by saying that the probability of success is not very high, but it does help to keep expectations in check. This was a pretty good post from Gary. Let's be honest, most Wall Street analysts are used to being spoon-fed, and most CEOs hate providing guidance. They do it because their competitors do it. Tesla not providing guidance just means Wall Street has to do its own research, which is how it should be anyway, but you know, Wall Street is a bit lazy. Elon Musk is wired differently than most CEOs. Tesla's mission is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. Providing Wall Street guidance does not further that mission in any way, other than maybe it could possibly prop up the stock in the short term. Tesla's Q4 results were actually better than Wall Street expected, stripping out accounting adjustments and non-cash tax rate changes going forward. Gross margins excluding credits grew quarter over quarter to 17.2% as auto COGS per unit fell 8.5% year over year, supporting the thesis that auto gross margins bottomed in Q3 at 16.3%. What we saw Wednesday night was Elon saying, grow food yourself. Anyway, my take on this is, with Tesla, you always are on the extreme of, oh, everything is going great right now, or everything's terrible. There's almost no middle with this company, really. Things are never just, it's just another day, it's boring. Unless another day is, oh, the stock just dropped 10% or the stock just went up 10% in a day. Sort of multiple days, not exactly in a row, but you remember in June we had a record 13-day winning streak, and there was so much hype around Tesla at that time. Those days will inevitably, I believe, come back. This is wonderful. See this map? Now, this is actually using a static map, and this is in China only. I really want this in the US because you will never miss any turns. You will know exactly where to go. The current maps, I think, are decent, but they can certainly be improved if you need to make a turn, let's say to the right, and there's another road that's very close. Sometimes it's a bit confusing which one you should take, but with this, yeah, that would never be confusing. I would love to see this feature in North America. I would never use Google Maps ever again if my Tesla had maps like that. I typically use Tesla maps if I need to use navigation, but occasionally, if I know the drive is going to be very, very difficult, I will also run Google Maps at the same time. I like to run Google Maps with the sound on, but also run Tesla Maps, but with the sound off. And then I just listen to what Google Maps is telling me. Here's Tesla's annual research and development spend. In 2023, Apple spent $29 billion on R&D, a sum greater than the total amount Tesla has spent on R&D in the company's history. And yet, Apple has no EV yet, even though they have been working on it now for years, specifically for a decade now. If you ever feel like a failure, just remember that Apple has been working on an EV for 10 years and it has nothing really to show for it. So Tesla overall is extremely efficient with its research and development spending. Although another way to look at it is Elon drove a lot of that research and development himself. So we are sort of paying for that by giving money to Elon in terms of stock compensation. But that only happened because the stock went up so much. So really, it was free to shareholders. Because if it wouldn't have worked, Elon would not have been paid. And I think that compensation package did motivate Elon. Elon actually retweeted this video from CNN that Sawyer posted. Pepsi, in a new video, said these semi-trucks from Tesla can run up to 500 miles on a single charge in a single day. So between two drivers, one truck, and 24 hours, we were able to run 1,076 miles on a single electric truck. Believe it or not, there are still many people that just watch the mainstream media, so it took them so many months to cover this story. This is not really news because it happened back in September. And I think the same can be said about many investors. Many still have not realized the long-term Tesla stock potential. But many of them will come flooding into the stock once the hype comes back.